Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Good morning to
Good
you.
morning out to everybody.
Yes, let's see who's first here today. Oh, James Dixon is the early bird. I gotta change my camera just a little so I can see what I need to see. There we go. Now you're out of the picture, and I gotta fix you. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Again, we are the Sawyers. This is Cornerstone. I'm glad to be with you. This is another heart-to-heart talk, and we're here live and in color.
Yep.
And let's see who all is in the house. James Dixon, like I said, is the early bird. He must be hungry today. Then there's Vincent in California. Hey, sweetie. Yeah, and Vern. Hey, darling, you and Johnny. Pray that you're doing well.
Yep.
Sandra, we got your message yesterday. We got it late, sweetheart, and I meant to text you back. Thank you so much for your offer. I had just gone to the store.
Just got in the door.
Yeah, she offered to go to the store for me and get whatever we needed, and we just got back from the store. Wish I'd have caught you earlier.
There's Oliver Johnson.
And then there's John Greason and Ollie. And hey, Ollie, you and Yo-Yo. Glad you guys are here with us. You guys were good on Thursday. I watched you.
Yeah.
And there's Joe and Kim, Dee Dee and George.
Joe and Renee.
Yeah, I just said that.
You just say Joe and
I
Renee?
did just say
No,
Joe.
I'm talking about that one Joe and one Renee. Joe and Renee Carr.
Yes.
There's a Joe and Renee.
That's my sister.
That's three of
my
them.
brother-in-law. Yes, sir. And then there's Jill. Hey, Jill.
Jill May.
And Miss Pearl. Hey, Miss Pearl.
Pearl May.
And there's Brand.
Brand May.
Her and Jakila.
Jakaya May.
I bet Jakila's a big girl now.
I bet she. I forgot what I used to call her. Jakila or Joe.
I forget what you used to call her.
Jill Ryder.
Hello, Edith Brown and Gerald Bennett.
Gerald
We're glad
Bennett,
you're here at this
Bennett,
morning.
yeah, Bennett.
Here comes Apostle Norman
J.
Yeah.
Gerald.
Sandra, thank you. She said it's never too late to get more. Thank you, sweetie. Miss Hicks, thank you, darling, for being here.
Miss Hicks, yeah. I hadn't heard seen her name in a while. Good to see you.
I know. Well, let's just jump in. I don't know what all we're going to say today, but I know it's going to be good.
Sometimes that moonshine will get you, Miss Hicks. You got to wrestle it down, girl, to get back in touch with us. Thank you for coming on with us.
Let's see. Someone else came in.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Brandy says Jakila's good.
Bring her to see us sometime, Brandy.
She may act like she don't want to see us. You know how she gets.
Yeah, act all funny like she don't know nobody. I'm about to give her a haymaker and knock her out a little bit.
I know.
Give her one of them whoopings that she missed.
Well, let's do an affirmation. How about that? Let's do our I am affirmation this morning. I've been doing a lot of contemplating this weekend, so it's something that I want to get us all in the mode of, to acknowledge the Christ that's inside of us, the God that is. I want to read just a little bit before I start, though. Make sure. Let me know if we're hearing us and seeing us good. If you have any problems, we'll see if we can fix it on our end. I read this, and I'll just read this one statement. It said, the most difficult thing for a man to really grasp is this, that the I amness in himself is God. It's the hardest thing for most people to grasp, that the God they're looking for and the God they're praying to is the one that's the I am inside of them.
That's good. On her affirmations, I'm looking over it again. It's more to these affirmations that she got, but these are the basic ones. And I think if you would write these down or run them off some kind of way and look at them and try. Well, you don't have to try. Just relax and allow yourself to inclusive your conversation by seeing this. It would actually automatically move you away from a lot of places, people, things, objects, and it would cause you to deliberately deliver your attention to your fourth and fifth dimension, which is non-duality.
Yes. Now remember, you're going to speak from that place that is not your physical body.
And it's not a feeling, it's just knowing.
You're going to speak from that place that is not your feelings,
Right.
not your thoughts,
Right.
but you're going to speak from that place where there are no labels,
no addictions,
where you have no attachments.
That's right. Stillness is there.
It's nothing relative to this physical world at all.
And remember, you are made out of what she's saying.
Yes, definitely. So what I want you to do is just right now, I want you to leave everything out. I don't want you to think about anything. I want you to put everything behind you, everything outside, just like you leave your shoes outside the door.
You got mud on
them. Anytime.
You ain't got ain't got no bottom in them.
Well, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Wrong
but
side.
leave your shoes or leave your thoughts outside. Just like you would your shoes if you're taking them off. Leave them outside. Suspend all your thoughts about the past, even your thoughts about what could possibly happen in the future.
Sound like being innocent, ain't it?
Yeah.
Like a child.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want you to just kind of put everything aside. You don't need it at this moment. All we want to do is to center in on that you are, that I am that you are, that is God inside of you. And I want you to speak from that place that is true of you. Okay? So here we go. I want you to take a deep breath in and let it out. Let all the tension, all the concerns go with it. Do one more. Take another deep breath in. And now release it. And repeat after me. I am complete. I am blessed. I am spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I am infinite.
Mm-hmm.
I am eternal.
Eternal.
I am unborn.
Unborn.
I am nameless. I am ageless.
Unbound.
I am unbound.
Mm.
I am authentic.
Mm.
I am unaffected. Remember, you're not speaking from your body. You're not speaking from your feelings.
No mind.
You're not speaking from any past thoughts or future fears. You're speaking directly from that you are as the I am, the essence of God. And
look, as you speak this, you are actually with your mouth using it as like a bucket dropped down in a well. You are dipping down into the deep wells of your true essence when you speak these things.
All right. I am undisturbed. That's a biggie, because if you speak from your feelings, that would not be true. But if you speak from that you are, that has no attachments, that is not of this world, it is true of you that you are the undisturbed.
And remember this, your speaking this is like the rope at the top of a well with a bucket. It's going down deep, 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 past that part of the heart that says deceitful and wicked. You're going down to the pure essence of your heart, to the well where the water is pure and clear. The only difference in the water and the bucket is that they seem to be two, but it's only one.
So you are speaking that is true of you.
Your true self.
You have had too many opportunities all week and all year for centuries and even to speak that which is not true. So this time we're speaking only what is true.
Can you imagine what it would be like if everybody was born in a family that had this all over the wall in their family?
If they started out like this. Yes. I am undisturbed. Say it. All right, here we go. I am unafraid. I am clear.
Yep.
I am intuitive.
Yep.
I am free. I am timeless.
Here's the big one.
I am unconditioned.
That's the key right there.
Mhm. Now, there is a me that's conditioned.
But
Conditioned consciousness is that I believe myself to be.
mhm.
It's got all of the life experiences that I've had since I came out of the womb, or even while I was in the womb.
And what she's doing and what we're doing is giving you a pointer. That means that once this pointer begins to work, the opposite of what you really are as an eternal being, spirit. Anybody can say this, whether they go to church or in Christ or out of Christ, with the philosophy of religion and brick and mortar. These things right here is the truth of your spirit, even before birth.
To say these I am affirmations and really know that it's true about you, you have to deny your senses and your
Mhm.
feelings. Okay? So let's do this. I am peace.
Peace,
I am forgiveness.
forgiveness. Oh, there's another
I
one.
am non-judgmental.
Ooh, that's not you. You are that person. You're that being beyond the person of judgment, even the thought, even the
Mhm.
feeling, the memory of the past.
Judgment doesn't even live in you.
That's that part of you that stand in the grocery line and don't and gets aggravated, frustrated. That's not you doing that. Even road rage is not your real self. No judgments
I am all inclusive.
everywhere at
I include
once.
everything, everyone. I don't remove myself from anyone.
Mm-mm.
I am indestructible.
Yep. Hebrew kids in the fire furnace couldn't wipe them out.
And forgive me for indestructible being spelled wrong, but I am indestructible. I am essential.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
If you leave,
yeah.
you go. You leave your suit. You are an essential being. You are an expression of quality and is necessary in these bodies, seeming separated from God, but you are all one.
I am like, when you say I am essential, it's like making a cake or a pie.
Look out there.
Or a pie,
Yeah.
and you forget to put the sugar in.
My mama did that.
The
Boy, she had time with that.
The sugar is the essential ingredient.
Yes.
So when you say I am the essential, that means I am what makes
Got to have a
everything
little sugar.
the way it's supposed
The
to be.
stuff. Nothing is missing.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's keep going. I am indescribable.
Ooh. Can't put it on paper, can you? Can't find words. It's just something deeper than words that know it. It's like I told her, we talked about the babies talking, cooing. You're the cooing self.
I am undefinable.
Yep.
I am unaddicted.
Mm-hmm.
I am stable.
Yes.
I am, listen, this is a good one, formless.
Ooh. You know what I said in my note when you said that?
What?
We can't get a hold of God because we are one with Him.
Exactly.
That's business thing.
I am stillness. I am joy. Sometimes these words, we've heard them so many times till they really don't register with you. So we'll say them anyway, but the mind doesn't always grasp them or grab them and embrace them. I am abundance. I am everywhere present. That means I'm omnipresent.
All of us ain't all in just one place. We everywhere. Just like David said, if he's in hell, God was there too. So he couldn't escape God. Anywhere he went, he was there.
Yes. I am the knower.
Yep.
I am unattached.
Mm-hmm.
I am sacred.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take a good breath on that one because that's hard for us who live in the what I call introspection. We're constantly looking at our faults and things that we feel guilty about, and to say we're sacred, it goes against everything my little conditioned mind believes about itself. But I am sacred. I am unlimited. I am love. You're going to do that on every one of them. I am truth. Jesus said that, didn't he?
He said, oh.
I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Wow.
Yes.
Then
Say that. I am the way, the truth,
all truth,
and the life.
And the life. I and you are truth, and don't even have to open your mouth.
I am all potential.
And listen to that. In the beginning was the Kuin, and the Kuin was in the beginning with God, and all things that were made by God Kuins. Meaning, what language did he use? And when he say become as little children, they start off Kuin. But when you get around these folks that doesn't get beyond Kuin, they start talking about things that you be conditioned for that's away from this list.
Yes. So finally, I am the I am.
What we're doing is pointing you back.
Let them say it.
Okay.
I am the I am.
I am the I am.
Yes. And thank you, Vincent. He said, I am the light, which is only God, not apart from God.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Don't care what it smell like, look like, or talk like, or walk like. That's the truth. And you don't have to go around telling everybody. It's just a fact. You enter into rest. This is your bed.
I got another one for you. This is long, but I need to say it for you.
Can you get it?
Where I can see it, yeah. I can read it. You don't have to say this one, but listen. I am a portal of consciousness streaming down through the crown chakra into this form. I am a continuous stream, never static, a download from higher dimensions. It is what I am. I am a light stream blowing through this mortal flesh, an immortal essence, life, being. As I flow into this body, I am experienced as an individual through writings, sayings, laughter, facial expression, thoughts, and feelings. Yet there is no person here that possesses these qualities, for I am purely a stream of unconditioned consciousness. There is, in fact, no person here to attract or to project, just a stream, a flow of pure light and awareness. I am the one who looks for another and finds itself. I, as this stream of unconditioned consciousness, am the carrier of revelations and insights. This is a clear indicator of what I truly am. I stream through this mind and body until such time as this mind and body no longer functions. I appear to others as conditioned awareness, leaving the impression of a person that others think I am. That which is left after this body dies will be evidence that this portal was once open and I flowed into this earth existence. Premeditation and thinking only serve to veil my essence. I, as the flow, never cease, and I am often thought to be solid matter. Others looking on may think that everything originates from me as a person, but there is no person to claim what comes forth as the stream. The stream is pure and gentle and free and clear. I am pure, gentle, free, and clear. It has no shape, but it can appear to take shape. I have no shape, but I appear as a shape. What I truly am is veiled by my own appearing. This unconditioned consciousness is the only reality.
I just had something come to me in John 11:20. Martha, and as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went to meet him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, and look at it. They're talking to his body, to his mind, through his ears. And here's what she said to his body. Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother, physical body, had not died. But I know that even now, you in the physical realm Now, whatsoever thou wilt ask God, God will give it thee. And Jesus says unto her, thy brother shall rise again. And Martha said again to the body, physical brain, mind of Jesus, says unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. And Jesus' body, mouth, mind, everything in congruent said, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whomsoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Now he went on in, and the people they didn't like the way he talked. But see, he was talking what we just put on there.
That's right.
His body.
He left talking about himself, anything that was untrue. He
no more separation. He said this on the chapter before then. I think it was 12:10. He said, I and my Father are one. Then the Jews, that's your next door neighbor, and everybody else, took up stones again to stone him. Jesus answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of these works do you stone me for? The Jews answered and said unto him, for a good work we do not stone thee, but the blasphemy is because you became being a man, a woman, a boy, a girl, maketh thyself equal with God. Jesus answered and said to them, is it not written in the law that I said ye are
gods?
You are one with the boss. You are one with me. Do you know when you go into a store and somebody is talking to a person inside of you and you standing there listening, do you know the essence of God and everybody in that store is listening to himself speak out your mouth, but it sounds just like you're separated from each other.
So then the world as I experience it is the mirror of me. And when I say that, I mean, there is nothing happening in your world that is not standing out in front of you, issued from you, and showing you a truth about yourself. So every incident, every situation is simply your own consciousness being mirrored back to you. Like the man at the pool of Bethesda, for instance. This man was laying there at the gate of the pool of Bethesda, wanting to be put in, and he had a whole story, about I want to get in, but I can't get in because every time I try to get in, somebody steps in before me. He had a whole story built around his situation. And that was the reason he couldn't get healed. And so he mirrored, his consciousness was mirrored in front of him. Everything that he believed about himself was in his story and was sitting out in front of him, being projected right back to him, telling him something about himself. And then Jesus comes along and completely interrupts the whole story, the whole process. It says, do you want to be? Do you want to be whole? He interrupted that man's story and that man's consciousness about himself. And had him to change that state of how he was seeing himself.
You remember in the book he talked about Peter walking on water?
Yeah.
And he said, Master bid me to come. As long as Peter looked at his true identity, which was standing on the outside looking back at him, he could stay on that water. But when he took his eyes off the water and who he was standing in front of himself, he began to sink. And he said, save me. Now, here's what salvation is. Saving you from hell or saving you from dying in sin is called calling you to awaken to your true identity. That's all it is.
It is.
And you can do it. You could have this and do this and be this without even going to church.
Sure.
without even praying.
This has nothing to do with a religion.
Nope.
Or even your religious beliefs. It has nothing to do with that.
The morning Jesus appeared to me and opened his chest and let me see his heart, the first thing I wanted to do, and see, this was a hook. The first weekend we were together, you asked me to go to church. I don't know whether I responded to it or not, but I just didn't care nothing about it.
You didn't really respond.
No. But then when you asked me that, the next Sunday, the next time we got together on that weekend, and when you asked me or you didn't, I came to your house ready to go, but something had happened.
Yeah. Something very dramatic.
Now, I did not pray that night for Jesus to visit me or to come in my heart. All I did was say, forgive me for my sin. I was thinking he was forgiving me for the drinking and smoking and
the partying.
And the partying and us getting together without being married and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was that, but it wasn't. Because as soon as I got out of the house to go to church with her after the experience of seeing him, I thought that I needed to get some more treatment. So I prayed every night to make sure I had my list up to date on what I did during that daytime to forgive me.
You still felt guilty.
Yeah. And I was asking him, see, now one today I said, I listened to the radio in the car, forgive me. I drove the car too fast, forgive me. I broke the speed limit, forgive me. Let's see. Yeah. I had a bad thought, forgive me. I went down through the list of everything that came to the front of consciousness and went to bed, got up the next morning, and they were still there. Now, you say God don't come in an unclean temple. Is it possible that he was already in us?
In that unclean temple.
In there and hadn't done anything?
Trying to clean house.
And you wouldn't let him. You wouldn't let him clean the house because the way Jesus made God clean the house is totally different the way you clean it.
You're clean by the words that I've spoken to you, he said. His
presence automatically cleans the house. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Either God is a liar or you are one.
Yes.
And the way we talk, he can't lie.
So
I question him about that.
And cleaning house simply means this. There are so many, I'm going to say it like conditioned states that we live in.
But I do know one thing, baby.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
The conditioned states that we live in is what prevents us from really being able to see who we truly are and who God truly is. And so he cleans out those old concepts. And usually it happened. And I used to think that God only was doing things for me or with me or in me when I had some spiritual experience. But I'm finding out that just my life circumstances are now the tools that's being used. Those life circumstances are, like I said, being mirrored. They are mirroring my state, my consciousness state. And so whatever's happening in my world, in my particular world, is coming from my own state of consciousness. And most of the time, that's my conditioned state of consciousness. What I've believed all my life about myself or about others or about life or about God or about anything. It's coming from that. That's why it's appearing in front of me. Like the man who was at the pool of Bethesda, his state of consciousness was standing out in front of him, right there in front of him. He said, I can't get in. So that's exactly what happened. He couldn't get in.
Your heavenly travels of consciousness before birth was right there in your parents. When you as consciousness of God, right there inside your parents, you were right there all the time. It appeared that you came out of there, but you had come like everybody else do in consciousness as an eternal essence all over the universe. So it appeared from the mind that you were being born in a physical body, and in actuality, you chose to go through this cycle to appear to yourself eventually as you got older And as this suit began to mature, you did not get in this body by an eternal essence and tell it, grow, stop being bald headed, be black, be white, be 6 feet, 7 feet, or a midget, whatever you want to call it. You didn't sit around and tell yourself how you want to look like when you came out. You just came in there, or you were in there all the time. Don't make no difference. You still out here now looking back at yourself. I am you, she is you, talking back to yourself in one identity.
I like what Vincent says. He says, he that believes in me shall have everlasting life. Be nourished by your true nature, by your own true nature. Yes, yes.
Let's take it on another step further.
Take it on.
If you don't believe, or you do believe, you cannot just accept Jesus and say, I didn't have eternal life until I accepted him. No. If I'd have died, I would have died in my sins if I didn't have eternal life. Let's define that. Mm-hmm. If you died and did not know anything about Jesus as your Savior, you will still be eternal. Yes. But you would have chosen to relocate yourself in a different identity as eternal life.
Yes.
Now, come on now. Let's go with it, because we got to come to this thing in the book. What is actually taking place when we receive the gift of eternal life?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's the question.
Is that a gift to be received, or is it a gift to be unveiled?
Or made aware of.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's
unveiled.
Right. That's right. That's the definition of the word mystery.
Yes. So yesterday, and you mentioned this a minute ago, positioning yourself.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So this whole thing of our affirmations that we do is repositioning you, is relocating you, pointing you like, this is where you should come from. This is where you live from. This is where you issue forth from. Not from your feelings, not from your thoughts, not from your past, not from your future or possible future, not from any time period. This is where you find yourself, right here. The other day, Baby Girl taught me something. Baby Girl is our dog, of course, for those of you who don't know. Baby Girl has her bowl of food and water in a place in our kitchen where when she eats, her back is to our very front door. And when we had a lot of traffic in our house in the last few weeks for the HVAC and plumbing and all of this stuff to get things fixed in the house. And so because we've had so much traffic, she's become more alerted to people moving around and coming in that door. And of course, they were going in and out of that door without us answering the door. They had to go in and out. And so she's gotten conditioned to think that there's somebody always coming. And so when she's eating, I noticed she had started to, she would eat and look back. She would eat and look back. And she would constantly looking back. And I thought, well, I'm gonna have to move her bowl. But then this yesterday morning, she taught me something. She took upon her own, out of her own initiative, she decided she was going to change her position. She moved her body sideways and began to eat so that the door was here and she could see the door while she's eating. So she decided to reposition herself to not have to deal with the fear or the anxiety. She had more sense than most of us people. We do not know how to reposition ourselves to prevent us having all this fear and anxiety.
That's right. Brother Buzz, you get on the last of your statement there, and it is simple and it is amazing.
Yes.
That's the key right there.
Yes.
And that is a place where all of us have to come to see with the eye of the I amness that we are actually walking in the footsteps, or God is our footsteps already ordered,
Yes.
set in place.
Yes.
I heard it from one of the old guys from the old school as I investigated years ago into the miracle presence of healing. He was sitting, he was in the bed and he was awakened because in those days the old wooden floors would crack more than these now.
Well, our house is starting to crack.
Yeah.
It's an older
and
house.
When he looked up and he heard, now most people could probably get spooked out, but he heard the feet of a spirit being come close to him, walking across the floor to the bed. And as he got closer, he noticed the spirit being set down on the side of his bed to have a little talk with him. And the imprint of the spirit being's butt identified itself and pressed itself into the bed and the cover. And he realized that it was his angel or the angel of the Lord that came to announce to him that he was going to be called of God and was called to fulfill a certain purpose.
Wow.
Now, we don't want everybody to be looking in the morning for somebody to walk across the floor in the spirit world. Now, you just barely can.
Most of us would be afraid of that.
Most of you have trouble with your shoes sitting over there in the corner, scared they're going to get up and walk, or your socks that you wore all day for the last 4 months going to get up and walk, or you throw them things over in the corner, they'll still stand up. But you ain't, don't get spooky on me, just relax. God is going to reveal himself to you as you can handle it.
And is revealing itself.
And it is.
Yes.
I'll take a drink of that.
Revealing. Yes. So it's important that we learn to relocate ourselves when we, especially during times when our feelings are all stirred up. It's easier to do it when there's not a lot of stuff going on, but the practice is when it's going on. That's when you do it.
Yeah. See, the mind has to be introduced to the you. That is its opposite. Now, it is very crafty. If anything, it wants and it likes and tastes good, smell good. Oh, it'll get right in there and say, this is the Lord. But you must have a much deeper experience with God. Watch this.
Yes.
Than with ministry. Yes. Much deeper than gifts of the Spirit. Much deeper than discerning the Spirit. Much deeper than knowing. Much deeper than tasting or smelling.
Much deeper than I know how to pray.
Yep.
Much deeper than I believe in healing.
Yeah.
Much deeper than I believe that God, that I'm going to die and go to heaven.
Beyond that.
Much deeper than if I go to church and be a good person, then I'm going to be all right. Much deeper than that. Much deeper than I just accepted Jesus Christ. Much deeper than that.
The most adventurous side of the mind can distract you from your true essence. And another thing that your mind is good at in the monkey mind and the false identity, all of a sudden you become so overpowered that you got to help everybody that don't see it like you do.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because of late, what is being targeted here in this being, in this conceptual being, is my desire to do something for other people isn't really for other people. It's so that I will feel better. I will feel better if you act and do the way I would like for you to do. That is not true love.
No, it's not.
It is simply my egoic mind that is disturbed, and it's trying to fix it through spiritual means, but it is still that egoic mind.
When I first started off in the ministry down in Lexington, North Carolina, I would set people in chairs in front of the church who wanted prayer, who had problems with physical problems. I would set them down in the chair, and I let the people stand there and watch me, so they know that I wasn't pulling no gimmick. Matter of fact, I would let somebody hold them by the waist in the chair so that they couldn't move. to make sure that it was no gimmicks.
Right.
I would stretch their legs out in front of it and measure them. And instead of pulling, I'd push. When I pushed on both legs, any leg that was any shorter, when I pushed, it would come out even with itself. You could actually feel right in the solar plex area of your stomach, like a hand of God was moving out from inside of you doing that.
Yeah.
One person come up and their feet was doing just like it, back and forth, back and forth.
And arms too.
Arms the same way. One person arm, they stood there and we look.
And you turned your back and you started talking.
Yep.
And her arm was still growing.
And what was going on?
Still moving.
That's right. It was making adjustment in the spine and the shoulder. When you
and it isn't. Let me clarify.
Go ahead,
it isn't really a growing unless that limb is really shorter than the other. Most of the time, it's an adjustment of the spine so that the spine can be aligned for the healing to take place.
And you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to go over to the mobile home place and look at the motor homes.
The RV, yeah.
And IVs, what do we call it?
RVs.
RVs. RV, not IV, motorhome.
Yeah.
Not IV, but motor. Okay. And I was ready to hit the road.
Go on the road, yeah.
But I was disappointed because the way was not made for me to buy one of them RVs. I had to go with what I had. I went up to Fort Payne, Alabama. Little boy was standing in front of me. He was deaf, stone deaf. I stuck my finger in his ear and yay. And somebody said, you'll stick finger on you. I have, thank you.
Position heal yourself.
I positioned my healer to heal itself.
Position heal yourself.
And that little boy opened his ears open. He had a tire. I don't think you went with us up there that time. Were you there?
I think I was.
You may have been, but anyway.
I think I was.
He went back to school and told the teachers at school that his ears was open, that Jesus
and
did that.
They convinced him that
they
was
changed his mind.
Not true, yeah.
That was one of the pastor's daughters was down in Lower South Carolina at Grace Christian College.
So you know what that tells me? If they were able to convince that young child that was not a legitimate or a valid miracle that took place in his life, his miracle was contingent upon his belief.
Ah, Matsata.
Oh
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it was contingent.
Yeah, I don't know how I got there, but that I feel that. You know what?
Yeah.
And he lost it.
Yeah.
My mentor down in Lower South Carolina had a daughter who was born deaf.
Yeah, yeah.
And she went to a healing meeting with Ernest Angeli.
Oh yeah,
years ago.
He was a strange.
He stuck his finger in and pulled it out, and her ears come up. She never heard before in her life, but it's frightening, it's scary. She went in the way she knew her ears open. She went in the bathroom and turned the water on, and it scared her
because she'd never heard.
She never heard before.
Right.
Listen,
but your belief has to turn into a knowing.
Yes, that's right.
And
that's right.
When it's turned into a knowing, then it's proven that it's the I am.
God is the footsteps in the sand. God is the shoes that you wear. God is the size shoe you wear. God is your flip-flops. He's your bedroom shoe. I have seen his feet by revelation and insight. And he reveals to me that there's no part of you in your feet that does not walk in his footsteps. You are walking, I don't care who you are, how long you've been in on this earth. I don't care if you don't like what I'm saying or do. You ain't going to escape the footsteps of God in your life. It ain't no such thing as the devil having precedence over you. I have seen demons. I've been in the lower dimension from the heart down to the lower extremities of darkness. I've seen all of that. And I still did not leave the awareness of who Christ was as my oneness. Most people get off on a tangent on either side of the heart. One say the devils ain't real. One say the devil is because I've had manifestations. I've seen them things go acting up inside of people's mind and they subconscious that they rend them sore, make them spit up blood. But then I've seen again how they can get free without that. We've seen it all in all kinds of ways. But I choose to walk in the peace that Jesus is inside of all of us. before
Yes.
we ever woke up and after we wake up to peace.
Mm-hmm.
Rest my case.
You didn't rest your case
I rest my
already?
case.
Already?
My name ain't Perry Mason, but I'm resting my case. Lord have mercy.
Okay.
I mean, just make it like it is. Make a bullfrog watertight.
Okay.
A train not have a flat tire.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going now.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, I know
going.
you're taking off.
Okay.
So, like the man who was at the pool of Bethesda,
Yes,
who's
ma'am.
waiting to be healed,
Mhm.
waiting for the angel to come down and trouble the water, waiting for somebody to help him get in the water. He had built a whole story around it. He was telling Jesus all about the story, and his story was preventing him from being healed. Jesus came along and busted up the process.
Here's what he said. If a man walk in the night, he stumbles because there is no light in him.
Mm-hmm.
The light he's talking about that's not in him is in that conditioned self.
Mm-hmm.
Your eternal essence that we just read to you with those sayings is the part of you that is light. There is a is you light and there's a is not you light.
I want to go back to what Diana said. She said that this is the human tug of war. And it's true because there's a scripture even in the Bible where Jesus was faced with the people who had an epileptic son. And the father said, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief.
Okay.
So we live in that dichotomy, in that place of pull and tug. We right in the middle of that. And what we discovered, Diana, is that we're not actually in the tug of war. We're witnessing the tug of war.
Awareness, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. We're witnessing the tug of war that something wants to go this way,
something
wants
is watching
to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but there is a me that is up above all of that, watching it. That's totally removed from it. But we don't live from there, and that's what we're talking about with the I am affirmations. We live in the tug of war instead of living in or relocating in that place where we're the witness of all of it. And when you're the witness of all of it, it's kind of like, and I'm gonna say it like this: may sound sacrilegious, but that's God watching everything. When you're the observer, that's God watching it all. And we often ask this question as human beings: God is just watching. Why isn't God intervening? Because God is in the consciousness of each one of the. Remember, we're the stream of consciousness. So in every being that we see, no matter what their status is, no matter what kind of behavior they have, that consciousness that's streaming through them is the same consciousness that is God. It is God's consciousness that is trying to see itself. And that may not make any sense, but that's actually what it is. It's the consciousness of God trying to see itself in all of these forms.
Oh, yeah. We are each other's forgiveness. Meditate on that.
Yes.
We are each other's forgiveness. God is the self, the real self. No one can come to the end of us because we are the beginning and the end in one place. There's no ending to us.
Yes. And we're not talking about the physical us.
No, we ain't talking about the end of my finger and the end of my toe and all that
individuation
stuff. And the end of the highway, and you're going down a dead end road. Right. Ain't no more road to road on. Right. Your tires done turned square. Got a flat place on your train wheel, and it's bumping down the road. Ain't nothing like that. Okay. No,
Sissy says there is also a belief of the mind that thinks it knows and analyzes everything. Yes, I call that the I know mind. And as long as you're in the I know mind, you think you know. So and a lot of times our prayers issue forth from the I know mind. Yeah. I know what I need. I know what God should do for me. And that's totally bogus, because when you live in that place of just being, you don't have to know. And it's all kinds of stories in the Bible that talk about they didn't know. Like Abraham had to go to a land and he didn't even know where he was going. There are all kinds of situations where they've shown you don't have to know. The mind doesn't have to know. The mind doesn't have to know what you're here for. The mind doesn't have to know what God wants in order for God to come through as a stream of consciousness. It doesn't have to come through the mind at all. In fact, when it comes to the mind has to analyze it, like you said, and it has to go through all of the belief filters that you got about yourself and about life and about God and about everything else. And so then that's when it's watered down or distorted or contaminated, whatever you want to call it. So it doesn't have to filter through the mind.
There is a you that we've been talking about for months, weeks, and for years that is not tainted by your infirmities of your body. And Brother Johnny and Laverne, I'm telling you that you'll have to press your way into it beyond what we're talking about. It has to be something that you go after with your heart and go to it inside of yourself and find the truth behind what's going on in your identity.
Yeah,
that's really important.
It is very important.
Look, yeah. It is one thing to sit here in the chair and to say it, but it's another thing to see it.
But we're having to live it.
Yeah.
We're having to live it. Our life is not what you would consider perfect.
No.
We're having to live it the same as you're having to live it. So, yes, it does. It takes labor, but you're laboring to enter into rest. Yeah. That's the only time you're laboring.
Hey, I have read where there are men that have sat down in a chair after years of ministry and say the exact time that they were supposed to depart. Some of them wanted to depart early, and God said no. And I'm saying no to anybody out there today who feels like their time is up. Why don't you venture in there and ask the Lord? Who that was sick in the Old Testament, and God gave him some extra time, added years to his life. I'm believing whoever's out there that's listening to me that God's going to add some days to your life because you haven't finished. You haven't finished being the instrument for somebody to learn something from God.
Well, you know you're not finished because you're still here.
That's right.
Keeley says, we are not our mind. That's the truth. We are not our minds. But we think we are because we live there. Because we live there. Yeah. We live in the mind.
I'm so glad we talked to you today.
And when I say we live in the mind, I mean we live in our stories.
Yeah.
And I always use my mother, who was my greatest teacher. When she got Alzheimer's, she taught me so much. She taught me how to let go of the story. Let go of the stories. Because before she had Alzheimer's, Mom had such a difficult life.
She did.
She had a hard time adapting and working through all of these feelings that she had, that she suffered through my father, her own family, her stepmom, and her all of this. She went through so many things, but when those memories start to be erased, Mom came to a place of absolute joy.
Yes, she sure did.
Because the stories were gone.
Sure did.
She was still there, but the stories were gone. And
she didn't know she had been married.
Because the stories were gone, she had no suffering. Psychologically, she had no suffering.
That's right.
And that took a while.
So the mind was locked into the suffering, and her eternal essence wasn't.
The mind was locked into the story about herself.
You hear that, Johnny?
And about her life.
That's the story.
About what others had done to her and how they shouldn't have done this, and they treated her bad, and how she had to struggle, and all of those things. The same as the man at the pool of Bethesda. He had a story. And that story, Jesus came along and interrupted
the story.
Because the story is the suffering.
That's right. The story is the hell. The story is the pit.
Yes.
The story is the unforgiving self who keeps repeating itself over and over again. And that is doing it because of energy and inertia in the brain, the mind.
Mhm.
It's called the gray matter of the brain.
Yes, yes.
And it is also called what we used to teach in the class, the black box.
Their black box, and the black box, as you used to tell us, is that box that's in all of the airplanes and all of these travel vehicles that we have, the ships, the planes,
It
those
keeps
things, and it
all
has
data.
all the data of what happened during that accident, right? It's got everything in it. And we have a black box.
Yeah, yeah. And it'll bring up. You remember back last Christmas when you got that present, and it'll take it. You know what? When I used to go to people's weddings and funerals and things like that, I used to wonder, why did I have the memories of the last one that I was in? And I said, boy, that was good. And the other one I go to, they were sick or they divorced right there after the wedding. And I realized that was the memory of the black box coming up.
That's the black box being opened. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Vincent says he remembers the black box teachings.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm telling you, and I've been thinking a lot of time about going back into it, but
we still have the notes.
We do. Yeah.
And the slides, everything. Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm going to tell you, this is something rich, and everybody, I would advise you to venture into it, because once you find this out and settle the issue, you're going to have to pull aside a little bit and sit down and hold yourself together, because this stuff is real.
Now, so if the mind can create a story that has a bad ending, then it also, you have the power to recreate a better story.
Override the black box.
With a good ending. Yes, with a good ending.
You're more powerful than your black box.
Yes.
Oh, I could take that and run downtown with it.
Yes. And so your feelings are absolutely connected to your story. Your feelings are connected to your story.
Now, if you want to get over into a battle, you can, and go to fighting all kinds of dark entities. I'm going to tell you the truth. I want you to hear this. I got better things to deal with than trying to fight with devils and demons and trying to correct and fix everybody.
To fight with devils and demons that I have created with my own state of consciousness, conditioned consciousness.
I heard my
beliefs that I have about myself and about life and about others. All of that is my own creation, being mirrored back to me.
My niece would say, "Why start a war when there's no fight?"
Thank you. But we do it all the time. Keely says, hey, Keely. She says, I've been going through the same thing over and over in my life. Keely, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, sweetheart. Anytime you're going through the same thing over and over, it means that you have already entered into the reincarnation process. And you're already in the mode. If something happens to your body, when something happens to your body, you will have to reincarnate. You're already in it, because it's the repeating of going over the same thing over and over. It's just like Groundhog Day.
That movie. It was a series about Groundhog.
She said, I've been searching. Why does this keep happening? Just had an aha moment. I don't have to suffer. Thank you, honey bun. My feelings are not my story, but your feelings are connected to your story. So the point is to listen, to watch your story, observe your story. What's the story your mind is creating? What is the story that your mind is creating around what's happening to you? And I noticed, and I learned from everything, because God teaches from everything. Baby girl teaches me how to let go of stories too. When she has, if she gets sick on the stomach and has to throw up, the minute she throws up, it's over.
Yeah.
She doesn't think about it. It's gone. And I'm going right back to playing.
She either go back to playing or go to eat.
If we throw up, we build a story. Oh, I wonder what's wrong with my body. I might have this. I might have that. We build a story, and then our feelings go with the story. We end up with some emergency feelings because we built a story around what's happened.
That's right.
And we should not, but we often do build stories around everything. And that's where our suffering comes from.
Now you see her sitting here. She's messing with me. She wants attention. She said we're giving
she's
y'all too much.
determined she
Yeah.
wants the attention today. I'm not going to give her attention right now. And she has to know I'm not going to give her attention
You
right
okay?
now.
You good?
But anyway, we've been here for an hour.
Oh, it's been that quick.
It went fast, didn't it? Oh, gosh, it went fast.
Hey, we appreciate you. Your little Keelys out there and little Kellys out there and the little Jameses and Pastor Norman and all you guys out there, boys and girls of the gallery of eternal essence. Thank you for tuning in. You got good words coming out, talking to us from, we're talking back and forth. Oh, shucks. This like a prime rib. I think I'll go get me one today. I just get a prime rib and just sit there and think about how good God has been to all of us. Yes. Look, don't forget about sending something to help us keep going. We really appreciate that.
And thank you so much, all of you who sent me something for my birthday.
Yeah,
cards, birthday wishes, all of the above. I'm just so grateful that you blessed me, and I thank you for every cash app that you sent. Mm-hmm. You guys have been tremendously a blessing to us, and we thank you for that. If you want to give to Cornerstone, and some of you who are not even local Cornerstoners, you have been diligent about sending support to Cornerstone. You can do that by texting to CLC Greensboro to 73256. By the way, Jill always posts it in the comment section, the links and things, so you have that available to you as well. And if you want to go to our website, is the Cornerstone Life Center. There are donation buttons right there on you go in. And you can use paypal.me/cornerstone35. And if you don't want to use the online features, you can do mailing it in by P.O. Box 36259 Greensboro. And Laverne will make sure that you get it to us, that she gets it to us.
Okay.
And we thank you for the cash apps. Cash app for Pastor and I to come directly to us is $A Sawyer C. Or you can use paypal.me/ACE Sawyer 72. So it's easy to give, and we know you will. Your hearts are open, and we thank you for your having abundance enough to give. Because when you give, you're giving out of your abundance. Even if it's not much, you're still giving out of your abundance. So we thank you. Right. That's the way to keep the flow going for your own lives. Pastor and I gave our way out of a lot of things in our early conversions.
We did.
We just gave everything. If we didn't have money, we gave. I gave my wedding rings.
We
gave watches, and we gave cars, and we gave furniture, and we gave. The point is to continue to give, to keep that flow.
We gave so much. I think she almost wanted to give me a black eye, but that's okay. I can still see good with a clear eye. If a black eye or a round eye, she fixed me up so I could be a giver. And we thank you so much for having fun with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And we'll be back again, Lord willing, on Tuesday at 7.
Live and in color. Okay. You guys be safe out there. Hey, be careful about that monkey virus out there now.
The monkey pox.
The pox.
Yeah, I'm a little shady about the monkey pox now. But we shall see you on Tuesday.
Keep a full tank. See you then.